Hello YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. I tried to make another video earlier tonight, but phone had a juice, or thought it wouldn't. It's already, I don't know. Sometimes it just kind of says, I'm doing too many things at once, and it just turns off. I don't know. So, for this particular video, I'll be talking about some of the thoughts I've had about dreams and how they relate possibly to good and evil. Imagine I've talked with this before again, but I hopefully will say some new things. I'm also having some root beer as I talk, so I do apologize. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so I have a few images here just to start out, and I'm curious what you guys think about these images. It's getting a little bit chilly. It's nice. Uh, just kind of very nice to have this colder weather all of a sudden, compared to this really hot summer we've had. So, just picture this. You're asleep. You have a dream of a boy who's hiding in a very large dark room. Rather, you're not sure if it's just one boy. It might be more than one, but he's darting around really quick. And there's lights that are here and there, but they're kind of faint in a very dark room. And what do you make of that? And it's just a small boy as far as you can tell, but there's no way he can move that fast. You might think, oh, it's a demon because he's going so fast. It's just a boy, and he looks like he's very shy. And the other image would be you're in a somewhat small but very tall room in terms of the ceiling height. So kind of narrow room, and there's like grandfather clocks and all kinds of clocks along the walls. All sorts of things that are kind of antique and older. And the walls themselves are more pastel colors: yellow, orange, light green, light blue, different parts of the wall. Even some lavender areas. There's little tea sets, here and there. It's kind of, might sound a little bit English style or European in a way, but you feel as though you've been here before, and that this room has an extremely deep significance that you can only guess at. You even wonder to yourself, are the mirrors way up high gateways to other worlds or other lives that you could live? I mean, you're wondering, is this some kind of nexus? Am I done with my life? I'm not dead. You can't be dead. What's going on here, kind of thing. So one of those kinds of dreams, like, whoa. You wake up and you're just like, what just happened? There was some trippy thoughts I had. Then, of course, those are the main two I wanted to share with you guys. There are many others I've had. I mention these things a lot, but sometimes we have dreams that are very vivid, and there are images or characters or themes about them that we're not really sure if they're good or evil, or if where they fall, if they fall anywhere. My dad, which I trust what he says quite a bit, he's mentioned that dreams are a lot of times they're kind of neutral. They're neither good nor evil. And that's why maybe we enjoy it, many of us enjoy it so much, because it's such a ongoing thing, right? Good and evil. It's like, we can't get away from it. It's nice to have a little bit of a respite from the struggle that we're in. You can just kind of but I don't know, some of us say, well, we don't want neutral stuff. We want to always have good dreams. We always want to be happy. But okay, but you see, the thing about dreams is as I'm studying this book I mentioned a little bit ago, this book that that I've been given, Dream. Anyway, it's by I think it's Professor Fontana. it's becoming bit by bit more apparent to me what dreams are in a neurological sense, and then you can go away. You can go outside of that if you want to, but essentially, it's us talking to us. It's our unconscious, or it's our deeper selves talking to our conscious selves. It's all the buried. That's all the buried stuff in our psyche, talking to, our more active mind, saying, "Hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? Don't forget this. Don't. This is still going on inside us here. It's still going on in the psyche, right? We're not quite done with this subject. No matter what is going on in the external world, inside of ourselves, we still need this. We need this to be resolved. We're scared of this. We worry about this. We want it to be resolved. I'm just showing you, this is because I don't want to freak you out. So here's this little symbol. Or this. We're hinting at this prior experience we had that we didn't like, or that we're confused by, or made us angry, made us sad. Something romantic. Maybe it didn't work out. Whatever. Something that was really inspiring that we still remember to this day. This is still inside us, And so what do I think, getting back to this connection between this and good and evil? Well, I think dreams are very, very, very important. If we didn't have them, we go crazy in this life. We're faced with evil in some form or another every single day. If it isn't evil, then it's certainly not something that's going to help us in the long run. Unless you're really, really, really surrounded always by good people and good things, and you're just, most of us are, vast majority of us are still kind of, there's things that can kind of mess with us still if we're not careful. But it's very important for our unconscious mind to be talking to our conscious mind. That's really important. There's nothing evil about that. That's very good. So where does something become darker or more evil? Well, there are things that we can worry about, or that we're afraid of, or things that maybe we feel guilty about, or unresolved conflicts, trauma, all kinds of stuff. There are things that we can dream of that were evil acts of other people inflicted on us. There are things that we can dream about that have to do with our own things that aren't good. We need to change as well. But when does something become, I don't want to use the word demonic, but when does something become, when is a nightmare or something unpleasant, when is it time to say, oh my gosh, whoa, well, so what is wrong with me, kind of thing, right? Am I a bad person? I think it isn't necessarily dreams that should tell us that. We should know this stuff already. But it's one of the subjects that a lot of people are wondering about all the time. All I can say is that there are a lot of things that protect us at night that we're not as familiar with. But the more that we allow ourselves to do things that are wrong, morally wrong, even if we're not punished, in this life, the more we do these things, the more that we gradually can protections, spiritual protections that we can't see, but we can notice that over time, to the point where we can probably get something demonic coming through. A lot of the time, though, I think when we have very intense nightmares, it comes from our own fears of something we saw on TV when we were little, or just our own fears of whatever. And not, this is not authoritative, of course, but fear at its root is not good. It's evil. It's satanic. I mean, fear is a healthy emotion, and it's fun to feel fear sometimes, but if it's within reason. But when you get to the heart of what fear and anger are all about, those two emotions are not positive. They're darker. One is, you might start out with something. Well, I don't know. I think you know what I mean. It's just as a general example of when to know something is really up in your life if you're trying to not think about it. If you have a dream where you have someone working in your house and for whatever reason you're upset with them or you're impatient, they're up on a ladder and you accidentally nudge it a little bit because it's just such a hurry, they fall down, they break their neck or something, hurt themselves really bad. I don't think that's really a cause for concern if you have that kind of dream. Or if you hurt someone in a dream, it's accidental, you just probably are kind of stressed out, kind of thing. You definitely don't, you're not aggressive or not a bad person. If you have a dream where you're surrounded by very frightening beings, and it's very vivid, that might be an indication that something is going on, but it's a question of, I think, just how terrified you were. Because again, you can have nightmares that aren't necessarily demonic. It's just, you never know. If you have a dream where the dialogue, you can still remember the dialogue, there might be maybe something to that kind of dream. And if you talk to somebody that you clearly know in your heart is evil, and that you actually have a conversation with that being, and you're frightened to even look in that being's eyes because of how scary and evil that being is, at that point, I think it's wise to do some serious praying and maybe talk to a spiritual leader, that sort of thing. But I think if something like that, if it's something that's much more vivid, particularly very vivid, and it's very it's beyond the scope of a nightmare. It's like traumatizing almost, or it's you can remember every detail of it. We're talking something that's beyond just a regular dream. A lot of things, I think, I think there's a lot of dreams that are more commonly experienced, that are just because of the nature of this life, and that we might think are evil or whatever, bad, but not necessarily. It's just, there's always room to be a better person, I think. There's always room to be more spiritually minded, I think, for most of us, or more desiring things that are, I don't know, it's a life process, I guess, and it's hard sometimes to always be spiritually minded. But again, I'll mention that more in the future. But hopefully this video makes sense to a lot of you guys. But there are a lot of images that can be very intriguing. I continue to find intriguing. I'll have some more, of course, in the future. We'll often wonder, are those good things or something up? And again, the best I could tell you is that when you wake up, if you feel like something's really up, like something is wrong, something is very wrong in the way everything is, the way you're feeling, or it's a funny smell, all that kind of stuff. You definitely need to pray and get someone that you trust spiritually to get over there and help you out, big time, But most of the time, that's not the case. Again, it's just we're struggling with improving ourselves and trying to, I'm sure become better people. But most of the time, it's not something like that. Most of the time, it's we're just trying to figure out things in life. We're trying to, deal with we're trying to even deal with things that happened in the past that for some reason we're not completely, we haven't completely resolved. We thought we had, but maybe emotionally we hadn't. That kind of stuff. So, anyway, leave me your thoughts and comments below. Catch you guys later. Thanks. Bye.